Hello and welcome to the fan cams after the Blues get the job done in round 14 against the West Coast Eagles. It was 12 goals, 14 this time, 86 to 7 goals, 10, 52. I guess it was a convincing win, but a very strange. It's very hard to try and understand what's happening when the team can look so switched on and then so submissive in the same game. Very strange. I'm sure we're going to talk about that tonight on the fan cams. I'm sure we're going to talk about how we seem to be creating energy with run and carry in the first quarter and then just become a kick mark team in the next three. I don't know, but end of the day, got the win, 6-7. We'll just continue on our merry way. So these are the fan cams. If anybody would like to join the fan cams, you are more than welcome. Would love to hear from you. If you would like to join, there's a link in the live chat right now. Click the link, join us, and maybe you can unpack what we just saw. We'll go from there. First up, there's a couple here who are on the other side of the world. This seems to be a bit of a theme here. Frankie and Anali. Hello.
Oh, how's our internet?
Pretty good, gotta say.
Perfect. Yeah, we're at the top of a mountain.
Where?
Like in between Bologna and Florence, in a little town we've been staying in for 3 days. Yeah.
And how did you watch the game?
We watched the first 2 quarters at the accommodation, but we had to check out midway. So then we had to drive until we found internet. So we were on the side of a mountain with like the phone half up a tree on a bin to watch the final quarter.
Well, I'm glad the boys could put a show on for you because, what'd you make of that? That was interesting.
It was something.
I mean, I think, like I mentioned to you when we were chatting, that as long as they didn't have a little toddler tantrum about how annoying West Coast were going to be, we would be okay. And I think West Coast were having a toddler tantrum from the start. So I think that made it a lot easier for us. But they did sort of give up toward the end.
Yeah. It seemed to go into cruise control or damage control from quarter time, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it looks so dominant. They were talking about it on the broadcast. I think it was Adam Simpson, about 8 or 9 minutes to go in the fourth. He was saying that in the first quarter, Carlton had 50 handball receives and then 10 from that point onwards from quarter time. So I guess it paints a picture as to what they're trying to do. And I guess the question is, are the players deciding to do that? Is the coach deciding to slow the game down? Like, I don't know.
I feel like at that point it's the players. I feel like collectively the energies that like, we've done it, let's not work harder than we have to, is like how I feel like it goes, and it has been going recently. Like, oh, we did the thing, excellent, let's not put too much effort in. Like, they don't want to work hard all the way to the end if they can get away with it.
Yeah. Frankie, what do you think, mate?
Well, it's tough because, like, it's happened pretty much every game this year where the first quarter we come out just, like, on fire and it's great for the most part. And it feels like it has to be some sort of a coaching decision or something to play in a different style or slow the game down or play in a way that we're not used to so we don't look as good for the rest of the time. But it could have, I mean, it felt like there was some injury scares as well. That it reminded me of the GWS game in 2023, where I think we ended up losing that game, but we had a few people go out injured, and everyone was like, okay, let's just try to not hurt ourselves as much as possible and go into damage control a little bit. But I don't know if that could have played a part.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Charlie goes down with a calf, subbed out, and then obviously Hudson O'Keefe. I don't know exactly when. It was for the majority of that fourth quarter he was out. So, we were one down on the bench, but whatever. They won the game.
I think it's
And
I think it's like there are the teams like the ones that I think are like they just try to hurt you, right? Like GWS, they get in their ego, they try to fucking push everybody around. Then St Kilda do it to everybody, and West Coast do it a little bit. Where I think people, you just get the other team gets so frustrated with just, oh, you didn't need to give me that elbow, and now I've been hit in the face, and like there's just like constant frustration with things hurting that shouldn't be hurting. And I think that I've watched that like they do kind of pull back a little bit if they are winning, because why do I want to cop another elbow to the face if I don't have to? It's like that's kind of the game plan of when the other team gets frustrated and starts being a little bit more aggressive. But I would like it if we just gave it back to them, because I think we could be the bigger bully in that situation. I think we have the bodies, and I think we have, you know, the older guys who could be the absolute bullies and go, okay, well, these little kids, like I think of like, you know, like an adult holding their hand out while a little kid like flails wildly trying to hit them. I think we could have that opportunity if we just toughened up instead of going, I don't want to put in the extra effort. I think we could be the collective bully in that situation. So that's disappointing.
yeah. I mean, I think you both touched on it there. It's like did enough to subconsciously feel like the game was over, and as soon as enough work had been done, it didn't need to keep running. And
Yeah. Lazy.
this
Lazy.
second week in a row that I think we'll just not remember this win for a long time. But hey,
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's going to be the theme of the year, to be honest.
we might forget about this whole year pretty quickly. We might try to anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, I feel like what will be remembered from this year are like the changes that get made at the end of the season, the people we don't keep. I feel like that will be the overall remembrance for the year of like, oh yeah, that guy didn't do well, and now we don't have him. He's gone here. I don't think it'll be about the games. Maybe the Richmond games will get remembered, but I don't think many of the other ones will.
All the kids, which I hate that I'm saying, like, oh man, like all our debutants look so good, which feels like rebuild talk again. But they have been impressive, and I've liked what like Hudson O'Keefe, even though he didn't kick a goal.
No, he almost did.
No, almost, yeah. But
No,
like they've looked good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Binns was excellent. I mean, he still doesn't use the ball very, very well, and neither does Carroll at times. But I mean, these are two guys who look pretty good at the level, and I think Cooper Lord just doesn't stop impressing.
He just he fits straight in. I like I think Jackson Binns was in the right energy. Like I like it when he gets into that, like it's almost like he's a little bit sulky, but he knows what to do with it, and he gets a bit aggressive with people because of it. I love that. I think he was perfectly timed to come in today, and I think that a lot of the new guys, they are bringing a slightly different energy, whether it be that a little bit more pushy and kind of bully, or you know, that like over the top excitement for being there. And there's like those two energies. I feel like Carlton really are lacking that in the players that have been there for a long time. So I hope that for the rest of the year, it's like that becomes the contagious part, not the poison that's coming from the top. You know, I think it's the fans and the new guys that have to shift the energy and send it back up to the top, because I think the top, you know, the internal Carlton has sent the poison down, and now we have to like send it back up with this new energy.
I like it. Guys, thank you so much for calling. So let me get this right. You're up in a mountain in between Bologna and...
Hang on.
We'll show you the view.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been mostly in the mountains. Like I've never been to Europe before. And so we're driving this time. So we haven't really done the big cities. Florence was the big city that we've done, but we're coming back next week. We've done like up in the mountains. We've gone into like incredible spas up there where you're like looking at snow mountains while you're in a spa. And I'm loving it. I'm loving all the nature.
Love it. Well, have a safe rest of your trip, and we'll see you when you get back.
Perfect.
See you then.
Right.
Go Blues.
Go Blues.
Go Blues. Love that. All the way from the other side of the world. Bussy Boy was a W, but honestly, Wilson and Lemmy need to play. They've earned the call-up. Well, I mean, I don't want to talk too soon about that, but I think Lemmy might have to play next week because Hudson O'Keefe came out with a hamstring. So we might be actually seeing him. Aiden.
Yeah, we're a hard team to watch. Well, another week, and yeah, I'm not really impressed by that.
Yeah.
Terrible. We got the win. Well done. Beautiful. Happy. Got the win, but the method that the way that we play, especially in that second half, is just terrible. I
What
didn't like it at all.
question? So, I mean, I'm sure you watched it. We all did. That first quarter, I'm watching that first quarter and I'm like, okay, there's a clearly evolved method of play. Use the runners, modern game, handball receives, play on at all costs, absolutely dominate. And I'm like, okay, great. And I do understand that you probably can't play like that all game, but to then not see that for much of the second half, if not any of the last three quarters, that's the part that I'm confused about going out of that. But I mean, like you said, I'll take the win, but I don't know how we look so magical in the first quarter when everyone's fresh and then just chill and invite pressure, you know?
Yeah, look, I don't. It's hard to answer because, again, like, how do we go from that playing in the first quarter, we're up by what 59 points, and then we ended up kicking 3 goals in the second half?
Is that what it was? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Like, how does that happen? Like,
I mean,
why?
look,
Like, I understand that we had injuries and all that, but come on, seriously. Like, look who we played against. We played against last, who they couldn't even hit a target at times. Like, we could have won by more. Like, we won beautiful, but I'm just not happy with the performance because yeah, it's really disappointing. But I'm happy that we won. I mean, we got the 4 points, sorry, but
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
obviously, I think that's the main thing. But I think the other thing going into the game, some of the themes were like, all right, McGovern as a forward, what's that going to look like second week now? Obviously Sam Walsh are late out, so Binsey comes in late notice. So another game under his belt, another game under Carroll's belt, another game under Lord. You know, these guys. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm not really looking at this year as the premiership year, if I'm
nah,
honest.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at the same as what you said. Positional changes, playing young players next few weeks. We're definitely going to see Lemmy play next week, I think, even though Charlie just said that he's going to play, which I don't think he will after that. I think there'll be extra precaution with him. But
Mm.
yeah, it's going to be a really difficult 2-3 weeks. Like, I can honestly see us dropping next week, really, especially
Really?
how we played. Yeah, because I didn't. I mean, I watched a
Well,
little bit of last night with
it
North.
depends which quarter. Depends which Carlton. Is it going to
Yeah,
be the
I know.
Carlton in the
Like,
first?
like, like we used to play what 3 quarters in 2022. We used to complain about not being able to play 4 quarters. Now we can't even play two. Like, look,
True. We
look,
should have appreciated what we had
yeah,
because
I
now
know.
it's
Like,
just
I
a
remember
1.
we played North, we played Port and Hawthorn. We dominated 3 quarters, up by 85 points, and then just
Yeah.
slow down in the fourth and play methodical. But I just think today was just coaching. Like,
Okay.
and I felt like the players were disappointed as well by playing that. So yeah, I don't know
Right.
where we go from here. Who knows? But we got the win, and that's what matters in the end. But
So do you
yeah,
think I mean, it's weird because this is the second week in a row that there seems to be some frustration with the win, right? Are there any good signs to move forward with, or is this, I mean, you know?
no, but if play like that in the first quarter, four
Or do
quarters,
wins
then
not
yeah,
matter? Does it
huh?
mean like do we want to see dominance? Is obviously
Yeah,
what the I think part of the issue is here. We want to see blood. We want to see 100-point beltings. You know?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
like I want to see us play how we did in the first quarter, like consistently. Like for
Right.
the throughout the full, I get it's unsustainable, but if we can do it like for just not one quarter, if we can just continue on with that momentum, then that would make me happy. Like even if we lose games by playing like how within the first quarter, but like by playing
Mm.
that for one quarter, then switching it up into kick marks low and letting a team like West Coast come back and only winning by 34 points, then even last week as well, then yeah, it's not good enough. Like you saw what Geelong did to Essendon last night. They just kept going, and Yeah, I don't know. Personally, to me, I just think it's coaching. So,
Fair.
yeah, I don't know where you might think of that, but yeah,
Honestly, it's just keep moving. That's my I mean, that's just what I'm trying to do to get through it. Just keep moving, keep seeing more signs in the kids, and keep looking at who's going to be a part of the future. And I mean, ultimately, the next premiership team. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but I'm looking at signs now for who's going to be a part of that. That group for the future. Like I actually think I wasn't sure about Matt Carroll when I first saw him play. I actually think he's got something there to work with. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
Even O'Keefe as well. Unfortunately, he got injured. Like I felt like all our youngsters are developing nicely, but yeah, I mean, season's still alive though. But let's see.
Man, love it. All right, man. I'll see you soon.
Right.
Ciao. LS, thank you very much for the $10, mate. Take the 4 points, but a tough watch. McCarthy comes in his first game on the wing and has 31 at 94% efficiency. Binns and Akers, 62 and 63%. We need better users on the wings. Everyone has them, but us, and it shows. Yeah, fair point. All right, Franco.
Terry, can you hear me?
How are you, mate? Yeah, I can.
Good,
Can you hear me?
How are you? What's happening?
Oh, mate, just wrapping up an interesting watch.
I haven't been on for about 3 years, and I felt compelled to come on today because, I don't know. I mean, I've spoken to you a few times before, and you know how passionate I am about this club, and this club's disgusting, man. If anyone's happy with that performance tonight, pack it up, because it's happened the last 2-3 weeks. And that was deplorable. Now, admittedly, my power went out at home. It actually went out in the estate midway through the third quarter, so it was probably a blessing. But they had kicked 1 goal, and we had kicked 10. We kicked 2 after half time, and after we were a goal to 10, they kicked 6 out of 8. That's the issue. That is the issue. Now, regardless of personnel, regardless of who you have or haven't got in, it's not good enough. And something has to happen. It's a win. We'll take the win. But happened last week against Essendon, happened today against West Coast. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough.
What do you put it down to that first, so you saw the first, so you saw the initiative to run and carry and create and play so proactive. What do you think is causing the difference to go from that to the complete opposite and slow the game down at all costs and get caught into the kick mark?
I think it's the overlap run that we do in the first quarter, and it's almost like the shackles are off. The minute a team seems to tweak something, we shit ourselves, and we don't have a second option of where to go. That is the biggest problem. Even today, our ball use going inside 50 wasn't great. I mean, the amount of times that we were trying to have a shot from 50, 55 out on the run instead of lowering the eyes, we never used that sort of that 45 kick inside 50. We seem to just want to bomb it all the time. And again, we were lucky they were so poor in that first quarter and a half. But after that, they outplayed us. But I don't care what anyone says. They outplayed us. I mean, you watched it. What did you think?
Yeah, we definitely. I mean, like I said to you, I think it looked like they thought game's over. We've got this in the bag. Let's just manage it, get through. But usually you do that, start of the fourth. If you're up 40 odd, you sort of take the foot off a bit. It's just that it's just like no one wanted to create the run and create more energy. And it was a wet conditions. It wasn't pouring, but it was obviously slippery. And we actually looked pretty clean in the wet conditions early. And then in that third, we looked like we found the wet conditions and we started, slipping over and we started fumbling. And I just think it's in here.
It's more than that. I think it's more than that, Terry. I don't think it's
are they damaged a bit?
I just think it's more than that. They just don't. I don't think our players have an ability to be able to hit targets. They don't have we can't run out games. The game plan is so congested, it's so tough. They can't manage it for more than 4 quarters. We are the only team playing this sort of football. Really, we are. We're the only team playing this contested, combative football. The minute the ball spits out, we look lost. We just look lost. I mean, yes, we take the win. We take the win last week against Essendon, but again, the minute it goes out, we look lost. It's a habit, and the habit of the dump kicks from our back 50, from our experienced players in Sard, Wiedering, and these guys. It's got to stop. Now, I don't know if it's coaching, if it's game plan, if it's players. I don't know what it is, but it's happened probably the last 2 years. It's definitely happened the last 3 or 4 weeks too much. And we should be in a far better position than what we are. And we haven't had any injuries. That's the biggest issue. We've had no injuries, and we're struggling. We're struggling to run our games.
Mate, I reckon every time I say, hey, this is the healthiest we've been at any point, we start seeing them. So obviously, I mean, Harry's gone down last week, and he mentioned it was during the Giants game, and then Walshy was the surprise day before game. But I don't think we felt the loss of Walsh, given Binzi seemed to give us plenty of run.
No.
I think we felt Charlie going down a little bit just with the structure, and took a while before McGovern started clunking them again. But it just seems like it's a grind no matter what we do at the moment.
It's rinse and repeat, mate. It's rinse and repeat. We might get Campo come in next week for a debut, and if Charlie doesn't play, you'd probably put Cripps forward and put Campo in the middle.
Well, I think Hudson won't play because he did the hammy, so I think that's definitely one. You might see Lemmy next week debut.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope
big
so.
Danger game, that one. That's a massive danger game. That, like, it is now. I thought before the start of the game we'd lose one of the next 2, just because of how bad we've been playing. And like I said, I don't want to come on and sound negative and whatnot, but it wasn't a good display tonight after quarter time. And anyone that sort of says that we played well is watching the wrong game. It just wasn't good. So
played well for a quarter. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, it's. I think once the opposition changes something, I don't know what happens to us, but we seem to change now. After the game, admittedly, Charlie said that we had to change the way we played after the bigs went down, but we didn't do that. We sort of did the same thing against Essendon last week. So we look better when we overlap run, and we look better when we go quick. The minute we go slow, we're just not skillful enough to hit those targets. We have to play that ballistic style. So, look, we see how we go. But thanks for having me on, mate. It's been a while, so thanks for having me on. Have a good night.
Thanks, mate. You
Cheers.
too.
See you, mate.
Paolo.
Hey, mate, how are you?
I'm very good. I have scarring from that microphone. I have to always just make sure that thing's working right.
So do I. It's third time lucky now. I'm getting scarring from the microphone too, just quietly. Good to see Franco on. Good to see him on.
It was good to see Franco on. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. What did you make of that, mate? I kept a watchful eye on it here at work. Was doing the racing channel, and it's pretty frustrating to watch. But no surprises.
No, look. We're not a team that's shown that we're a good team this year.
No.
So are we susceptible to having a result like that? Yes.
Yes.
So am I shocked? I'm disappointed. Would have liked to have gone on with it the way it looked in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm just keeping on moving because, I think I've ultimately lost the whole spark and hope of winning the thing this year. And so for me, I'm in my mind, the way I've reframed it, and maybe this is just protecting myself and my sanity so I don't get so mad. But honestly, I'm just looking for the future at this point in time. Like, who's going to be a part of the next wave? And, first quarter, I'm thinking, wow, maybe they've turned the corner. But then pretty quickly, they just go into this different mindset.
Why? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand why. Why is that? Why do they do that? It is just fascinating. What are they? It's as though they just stop and they're scared. They're scared to lose. They're scared to feel the wrath of making a mistake or turning the ball over. And when
But
Durden turned
but
that
then they
ball over, I just okay, more of that, but we don't do it.
the thing is, I'm with you, but then they end up making the mistake anyway because they invite the pressure and
Thank you. Exactly.
oh,
It's not playing safe is actually not playing safe. In the moment it is, but as the game wears on, it's the most dangerous thing you can do. It was horrible after quarter times. I took down some numbers. They outdid us 36 inside 50s to 33 after quarter time. They outscored us after quarter time. We got beaten in clearance at stoppage throughout the game, which is, as soon as you take that away from us, we just, for some reason or another, we haven't found another way to win since that, maybe around that Freo game last year at Adelaide Oval where we played poorly, but we still found a way to do it. And then in the second half, 66% of our play was out of the back half, just looking at the heat maps. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's against the Eagles, Terry. This is the worst side in the competition, probably the worst team we've seen front up in the AFL for the last decade. And they had a lot of outs too. No Waterman. Allen went down. Cole, who's an experienced defender, was not playing. And mind you, I tell you what, geez, West Coast were. Geez, didn't they? Why didn't we have a crack back at them? We just seemed to be happy with Harley Reid throwing elbows into Lockie Fogarty and happy with the way it just sort of all unfolded. Mate, they were out to hurt us there in a couple of passages of play. And we just, again, it was just, the result's probably there. Oh, well, let's just get on with it. I don't know. It just seems a woe is me attitude sets in after quarter time and we're just content with what we do. And then if it ever gets desperate, then we'll start getting frantic and start playing again. And the only one really looking for that overlap handball is Ollie Hollands. And no one else wants to come to the party when that happens. So it's not a performance that's really going to exude much of a celebration, I wouldn't have thought. It's a win. And again, like we said 2 weeks ago, they're probably the luckiest set of players and coaches in the AFL because they get Essendon with effectively a VFL team and players that they wouldn't be playing had they had close to a full allotment, and West Coast and then North Melbourne next week as well, who are struggling at the minute. So again, we're unsatiated. That's the problem.
Oh, at this point, the only thing I'm happy about is that we didn't lose. Just because
don't drop your standards, mate. Don't drop your standards or expectations.
No, and the reason why is just because to sit here and just hear the rubbish after a loss, if we had lost the game, more so than anything, mate.
Yeah.
How many times do they have to show that they're not a great team? Like, they've already shown the hand of the year. They're not going to win the flag, and they're not the top 4 team that we were hoping that we're going to be. So how many more times do you need to be reminded of that before you start realizing this is what they are?
Yeah, and then the gap of expectation and reality. Yep.
Like, the only time the changes to get better can happen is when the season ends. So I think that gets confused with accepting mediocrity. I'm not. If anything, I'm being a realist. I know now clearly, because the evidence of the way that we play shows, we're not a top team. We're just not.
Yeah, and the question that we'll all ask, and the club and decision makers at the club will ask, I think everybody wants to know why. Everybody wants to pattern it down to, it's just the coach, it's just the players, and then it makes the decision so much easier when you're crystal clear on what the issue is. But the issue is a myriad of reasons. It's players who are not up to it, and when the pressure does come on that little bit, don't take that extra step forward, they sag back. It's coaches who are probably not good enough. It's a head of football who's probably not good enough. So all of that factors into the performances you see on a weekly basis. And then that comes up with what you see at the end of the season, which is 9th, 5th into a prelim, 8th limping into the 8, maybe at the back end of the 8, probably in the middle of the table. That's where we are.
Do you think because we see that change up in style in the first, it entices us to maybe think, oh my God, maybe they've figured it out and like that's part of the solution. And then there's the frustration that comes because that stops when clearly the solution to getting better is like take the game on a little bit more like what we see in the first? Because, I mean, a lot of people will say, you know, our disposal's poor, which it is, and yada, yada, but the disposal looked pretty solid in the first quarter. And I do get sucked in sometimes.
So the disposal is poor because we play conservatively. That's why it looks poor. And then what happens is it becomes congested. And then when it becomes congested and you're trying to hit targets in congestion, especially in the wet, good luck.
Well,
good luck. And Jacob Wiedering said this a couple of weeks ago Charlie Curnow said this in his press conference. I think it was before the Essendon game. He said, we're too congested. We're playing too congested. So what do? We just allow that game state to eventuate after quarter time. I don't understand why they can't, or they have an inability to flick the switch from quarter time, falls into that lull, which you can probably expect in AFL. It happens. But then after half time, why can't we switch back into that mode? Because West Coast dominated that third quarter. I'll tell you now, it was 15 inside 50s to 9 in their favour. And had they had a decent forward line, it may well have been game on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the second quarter, I wasn't shocked that the Eagles responded. Did you hear McWalter at quarter time?
Oh, rip them to shreds.
I mean, you don't get a coach using language like that. He's like, we were pathetic. So I wasn't shocked at the second quarter, but that third quarter, I thought, okay. But I mean, that's the pattern of the season, isn't it?
The question is why. That's what we are all trying to figure out. And nobody has, I think, if you dive deeply into it, which you hope people at the club will be doing because that's what they're paid to do, you hope that when they figure out what the reason why is and why we are playing like this and why we are so consistently inconsistent, that they will put things in place, whether that's for next week against North Melbourne, which is the immediate short term, whether that's for the end of the season, which is medium term to short term as well, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the track. That's the problem at the moment. That's the issue. But you know what we need to do? I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to come out, recover, and we just need to go out and beat North Melbourne next week. We can talk about everything that's going to happen at the end of the season. We can talk about Graham Wright coming in and changing everything up and the board, and we can talk about all of this. But at the end of it, all we need to do is focus on recovering and putting a team out there that has to get the job done against North Melbourne. That is all we need to look at now. That's it. That's it. That's what they need to do. That's it. That's all they can do.
That's all we can do. Like, yeah.
The people that we are looking at the moment, the coaches and players, all they can look at now, how do I recover after this game against West Coast? How do I make sure I train better than I did last week for this game against North Melbourne? How do we come out and do what we did against North Melbourne earlier in the season? Take two. That's what they need to look at. That's it. The long-term decision makers will take care of what's going on in the background, right? The players don't need to worry about that. They need to worry about what they're going to do after quarter time if they have a good first quarter against North Melbourne at the MCG on Saturday afternoon. That's what they have to worry about, because that's a big concern for ours at the moment, not what's going to happen 365 days from now.
Yeah. Oh, well
it's
said.
Just fascinating to see the drop-off after quarter time. It's here. It ain't here. It's here. But you can see it's here.
Yeah.
You can see it's between the ears. You can see it.
My question is it a directive or is it player-led or is it just a bit of both? That's what I want to know.
I'll tell you what, right? We now, Gary and Tim gets every now and again, they get Mike Lombardi on their show, right? Via the phone, right? He's a fascinating listen, Mike Lombardi, a fascinating listen. And he and Bill Belichick now are, I can't remember the team that they've married up in at college. Someone can tell me. Someone who follows the American football can tell me. But Mike Lombardi said this, and this is what really, really was a poignant moment in his discussion earlier in the week with Gary and Tim. He said, you need to have players that are self-aware, right? You need to have players that are self-aware on the field and off the field. Do they have those conversations off the field that allow them to be better and allow them to all improve underneath each other? When I hear after a bad loss, we're going to have honest conversations, what conversations were you having prior to that? Were you lying to each other? Were you not telling each other what you really needed to say? Because that's a lie as well. Silence is a lie too, mate.
Yeah.
North Carolina, there you go. Thank you.
tomorrow we will unpack more of this
Yes, I'm looking
on the
forward to
BA
that, mate.
show.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I've got
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Look,
Look, what did we have to do today? We had to win and win comfortably enough. We did.
yeah.
That's it. That's it. So it's a tick. Did we
I-
like what we saw? No, I didn't like what I saw. Again, not the standard.
Yeah.
It's not the standard. I'll
Mate.
talk to you tomorrow.
Have a great night, mate.
I shall. Have a glass of red for me, will you?
I'm going to drink tea tonight. I'm going to drink
All
tea
right.
tonight.
Yes,
I'm just gonna
okay,
chill.
right. Have a glass of tea. Enjoy the night. We'll speak tomorrow.
All right, mate. Ciao.
Go Blues.
Go Blues. Andy, he's drinking a red. That's
I've got a red,
it.
mate. How good? Going on, Terry?
Do you have any idea why we go from being so proactive in the first to not proactive? Like, do you know what it is?
It has to be mental. It has to be. Because it has to be, bro. It just has to be.
Like,
I can't imagine it's a directive to, like, how do you even get that message across? How would you get that message across? All right, boys, let's go really hard in the first and then just back off. Like, nobody's buying into that. And I don't think it's player led. I don't know, bro. Last week I came on the show after we won. I was fuming. I was so angry after last week. I'm happy this week. I don't know. Maybe it's the wine. Bro. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I watched most of your shows during the week, right? And I think by the time it hit to your Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday preview, or maybe it was a Thursday preview you did this week, can't remember. I was settled, right? And you were right in your shows by saying this is exactly who we are this year, right? This is what we are. You're right, and you said it earlier. We've shown our hand. So to go to West Coast, right, and to get a win. I mean, we're not going to. I personally don't think we'll see many more this year. So, hey, man, we won. This is the standard. This is who we are. We are a 5-goal better team than West Coast, apparently. So,
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
I don't want to be like this, and I don't think anyone wants to be like this. But did the team show on Thursday, and I was going through the season, just scrolling through. I think I was looking at the games we had played for whatever reason, and in that one exercise, I realized like how much of a struggle the year's been to watch. Like, it's been all the memories that we have, 0-4, sort of clawing back and then losing to the Sydney teams, and like it's been tough, and like you can hurt yourself getting angry, beating your head on the wall, or you just realize like they're not good enough to do what you want them to do and slaughter West Coast by 100. They're just not. Like, I wish they were. I promise you, I wish they were. I wish McGovern kicked 8 today when Charlie went off. And I wish Hudson O'Keefe didn't get injured. And I wish Corey Durden kicked 6. And I wish Motlop also kicked 6 and we won by 120. I really do. But they, like, I don't know. Like,
we're not them. We're not that team.
We're not that team. This year, clearly.
Yeah. For me, it's what can we take out of this year now? And what can we leave behind as a lesson for next year, right? Like, there's a lot I don't want to take into next season.
Yeah.
And it's just, how much damage are we capable of taking without it transferring into next season? Like, injury-wise, we've kind of been blessed this year, right? Like, it hasn't been that bad this year. We've copped a couple. I mean, obviously Newman and Jagger, like, that's preseason. But during the year, we've been okay. It hasn't been like horrid. So, I think for me, the most important lessons we need to take out of this year to next is how do we keep that first quarter momentum or first half momentum in most games going? How do we keep it going, and how do we extend that into the third and fourth? Whatever's happening at halftime, I'm assuming needs to be looked at. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a sustainable thing. It's just not sustainable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think to answer the other part of your question as well, like, what are you looking at moving forward? Thank goodness this year we've seen the fresh blood come in and have impact. Like shatter for Hudson, but all of a sudden, I mean, depending on what's going on with Charlie, I don't know how serious that was, but Lemmy might get a look in next week. The forward line, 2 weeks in a row now, it's like relatively settled. I don't know what you do with whoever else is in there and changes and this and that. I think we also got to be careful not to play too many kids, because then it becomes 2017, 2018, too many kids, no capacity. And
Correct.
I don't know, like I still want to push and scrap to the end and hopefully maybe make finals and get these kids into the finals and like get them more experience. I think you can make finals and improve the list and improve the club at the same time. I just think don't drop the ball when we're putting the pressure on the club to improve in the off season and everyone just says, oh, well, fuck it, I don't want to think about footy. Like, no, that's when you got to ramp up.
Exactly.
Because everyone goes on holiday like, oh, fuck it, I don't want to think about footy. That's when the changes get made, not now. Like, you're not sacking anyone now. You're not changing anything upstairs now. Like, it's October. So keep the energy.
Spot on. I think as a member base, a supporter base, I think we need to really, really hone in on the postseason this year. And like you said, not just switch off, not just go into holiday mode. I think it's important we really, really apply that pressure onto the club, right? What are you doing to fix this? Like, it's all good and well to say things aren't going our way, and yep, we're bringing in the Great White Hope, the next Great White Hope, because we've had probably 10 of those already. So there's no point just saying these things. What changes will you do, right? If the tweaks aren't, look, Graham Wright might come in and say, fucking, there's only a couple of things that need to be changed. And based on his track record, I think give him the benefit of being right and see how it goes. But as a member base, like you said, it needs to go into the off season. We need to hold people accountable. The people that are accountable, hold them accountable. And let's see, but we can't just switch off this year. It has to go on into next year. So yeah, I'm not sure. Like, this is what we are now, though. This is what we're dealing with this year, and
we're just not a dominant team.
That's right. That's right.
And ultimately, as long as you're not losing, that can be okay. So, 6 and 7. We're all a little just hurt.
Yeah, we're all jaded, bro. We're all jaded,
traumatized.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Like, one day I'm like filthy. The next day I'm like a little hopeful. The next day Walshy goes down. I'm like, hang on a minute. Then the next day Voss is saying, oh, we don't know what's wrong with Harry's knee yet. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Of course you know what's wrong with his knee. It's 2025. Don't tell me you don't know. And you're taking 2 weeks to diagnose. And then the next day I'm like, fuck it, move on. Because I don't know, dude. I got like 9.
The joys, bro. It's the joys. It's a ride, man. It's a ride. It's a rough ride right now.
Yeah.
It's a rough ride, and I think we just need to, obviously, we're going to stick it out, right? We're not going to jump off. We're going to stick it out. We've been through a lot worse. So,
yeah,
it hurts. It hurts because our expectation is there now.
Yeah.
And I think for this season, as a fan base, we just need to temper those expectations. And I'm number one on that list, right? Like, man, even though I know what we are, I still have that high expectation. It's like we're not that right now. We're just not. We've had one of those years. Yes, things could turn, and I pray every day that they do turn. But right now, it doesn't look like they will. So this is who we are.
Yeah, I think we're more in the building towards than what we think we are ready to contend more than I
Correct.
think a lot of us thought. I did too. I thought, all right, we're in the window. We're
Mhm.
ready to contend now. Whereas I think where we really are is we're still building towards that window. That's kind of where I think we're at right now. And
Well, like you said, bro, we're blooding youth. I can't remember a season where we've blooded this much youth since those Bolton days. So,
True.
like, it's for me, I mean, that's a massive plus to take out of the season. But it's okay. Historically, our development hasn't been great of young players. So let's see the improvement now. Let's see these first-year players turn into second-year players and then really progress. I want to see how far can these boys go. I love what Matty Carroll does. I love Cooper Lord. I'm massive on Cooper Lord.
yeah,
And Harry
He's
O'Keefe,
tough, man.
he's injured. It hurts, but that's footy.
Yeah.
Who's Piney? Sorry.
I said when you said Cooper Lord, he's got. I don't know. He's just got like there's something about him. There's like a
Mhm.
lot. There's a lot to him that I'm very excited about. Like,
Yeah.
I just like the way he competes. I don't know. It's weird. I
He's got
can't
an edge
really.
on him. He's got this
Yeah,
little edge on him. Yeah, and that's
yeah,
what we lack. Well, I've always said we lack a bit of mutt in our team. We lack that dog, and I feel like he's got that. He's got the seeds of that. And that character, that Braden Maynard character, can kind of get you somewhere. It doesn't matter where you play on the field. If you've got that in you, and you know how to control that, and you learn how to control that, I think Cooper Lord can be anything. And I'm so excited to see Cooper Lord. So I just think this is what we are this year. We're going to put in performances like that. Hopefully we win enough games somehow, and can make finals, maybe win. If we're not winning the flag, clearly, right? Like, you can't be delusional, but like, who knows, right? Like, we can. It's going to be tough. It's going to be rough, but I think, and you said it best, it's about what happens in the off season. That's when the changes are happening. That's when everything's going to happen. And I think we just look forward to that and try to take out as much as we possibly can and leave as much as we can, the negative, for next year. That's all I'm taking out of this, man.
Yeah. We're just. I mean, we'll just hurt ourselves.
Mhm.
I'm just watching people just like literally hurt themselves mentally.
Yeah, me
because of it.
Exhibit A.
Same. I know, like same. Like, like I've yelled and screamed and called them shit. How many times can you call them shit?
Yeah, you
I've
can't.
called them shit that many times. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
And then you realize they're just not what you hoped that they were. They're just
Mhm.
not.
Mhm. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. As long as we accept it, that this is where we are, we can start looking into next year.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe by the end of the year, we can say, okay, like we've won 9 games, 10 games, right, for the year. Let's now build on a good, hopefully a decent finish to the season at least, where we can take some positives into next year, man. And with all the off-field stuff, we start.
Yeah, man. Wins, like as many as humanly possible. Wins.
Yeah.
Build winning culture. Build winning.
Exactly. Exactly, man.
Hey, love it. Good stuff. I will.
Thank you as always, Tez.
No worries, man. Go Blues.
Have a good one, bro. Go Blues.
Robbie.
Hello, mate.
How are you?
Oh, I think a bit confused, like all we are now at the moment. There's a love of the win, but just a total void of wanting more.
I think it was always built like this. What I mean by that is, let's say we win by 80 today, right? It would have been, why is everyone getting so excited? It was only West Coast. They're a waffle team. If we win by 34 points, it's, why didn't we win by enough? You know, we need to be ruthless and we need to have standards. And then obviously a loss is fucking sack everyone. Like it was just one of those weeks. And yeah. I think the expectations are great because it means you're a club that have supporters that want more. I don't think it's a bad thing, but it can also hurt your enjoyment of a win because you're just probably never satisfied, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I'm on that train and I recognise it. And my wife, Anna, who's watching the fan cams in the next room, reminds me of that, hey, you just won. You know, you just went, are you happy? I'm just like, fuck no. What's that? Are you kidding me? But yeah, so you've got to have this puck at that perspective and go, yeah, so we're playing interstate, wet and rainy, Charlie goes down, yada yada. You know, these other sort of peripheral things that you can accredit that for, but it's not in isolation, and I think that's what we're all feeling. It's not, even this year is not in isolation. It's a 12-month, 15-month train ride that we're on now, and we are a victim of 2023 of the expectation of this linear growth that we would, we hoped it would happen. And I don't think it was unrealistic that we would hope it would happen. And especially when you see, and it fucks me off, the absolute hell, when you look, and I watched a bit of footy this weekend, you watch Brisbane, you watch GWS, you watch Geelong, and they have structure, and the same structure they've had. Geelong's had the same structure for freaking 15 years. You know, elite kicking, open your eyes, take your time, watch the. I reckon, I don't think Jesse Hogan, honestly, has, Charlie Curnow has more skill in his left leg than Jesse Hogan has in his whole body. But Jesse Hogan, just like the way they get him the ball, and credit to him, he's a good player. I shouldn't be dismissive or negative of him, but the way they get him the ball, the way they structure everything is just beautiful to watch. And I just go, why can't we do that? How can't we do that? Like, I don't look. I think there is a part skill set problem, but I don't think it's that bad. We're not a shit team. We've got some incredible players. I mean, great. We don't have a Grind Myers with that elite kicking skills, but geez, we've got some great players. We've got some great forwards. We've got great backs, and just something that I think is game plan related, and I think either the players don't understand or they're not able to execute it. It becomes frustrating. That manifests. They start doing silly things that aren't natural, and it's just a downward spiral. I don't know what the answer is, but look, something obviously has to change. I think we're all in that mindset as well, that we all know something has to change. We're not sure what, and we're kind of waiting for someone to tell us what it is.
That's where we're like, it's like a narrative of extremes. So, for example, Hudson O'Keefe plays his first game. All right, fuck it. Drop De Koning until he signs. Hudson, you're our number one ruck. You know, or, you know, Charlie might be a little bit out of form. You know, Walshy might be a little bit, you know, not at his best. Harry's, you know, missing. Drop them all. Play every single kid. Like it's never in the middle, and it's never chip away at it. It's extreme. So Graham Wright, he's going to come in and he's going to sack everyone. Can't wait. He's an agent of change. Damien Barrett feeds you the headline. You know, him and Hutchie talk about, Graham Wright's been in the industry for so long and he's an agent of change, Hutchie. And trust me, you know, if there's a deal that a club comes, and then everyone just like drinks it. They drink it. And so, like, it just feeds in. It feeds in, and we're so easy to bait.
It's such a poison chalice, and I've experienced this in the corporate world, where either I've been recruited in for a manager that I've worked for and it's worked really well, or I've recruited someone who I've worked with, and you just kind of expect the magic to happen, and it doesn't, because the environment was very specific at that organisation, where you had relationships or you had certain liberties that afforded you to be able to do that. And all of a sudden you bring one person in and go, well, it's just going to happen magically. And I hope it does. And I think it will be. I mean, when you bring in external people, my uneducated, unknowing sort of view on it is that we have had people in for way too long. I mean, like Brad Lloyd, being in a job for 7 years, you're just insular now. Like you haven't been exposed to other best practices. You just need fresh blood in there. But yeah, look, I don't know, man. And I think the other thing too. I mean, you look at I'll be sort of
No, you're fine.
Going around playing players in there.
You there? I think you've just froze. Robbie?
Normal spots, normal positions.
Hello? All right. I will get you back when your internet sorts itself out. All right. In the meantime, if anybody wants to join, again, the link to join is in the chat. Click it and I'll get you in. All right. Young Zach. Hello, mate.
Tez, how are we, man?
Mate, we're good. How are you, Captain Carlton?
I'm good. Yeah, the pajamas. You like the pajamas? They're
pajamas,
a few
mate.
weeks ago.
Love it.
Yeah. How do we feel? I mean, we got the win. Interstate, it was wet. In the end, I think with Charlie going down, it was hard. McGovern. I like McGovern today, forward. So lucky that he's been playing that he started there last week. I like that. Yeah, it was comfortable. It was in the end. It was I mean, I think that it was a good win. With the weather and the injuries and how did you see it? And because I know a lot of people are not too happy, but man, as I said to you, a win's a win. I mean, you're going to have this type of games. What do you think, Tess?
Yeah.
How do you see it?
Well, at no point did I ever think we were going to lose based off the way that we started the game.
Mm-hmm.
We were so clean and crisp given the conditions. West Coast were fumbly. We weren't. We were on. We were switched on. The focus was there. And after that first quarter, I thought there's absolutely no way we'll win this. And I think for the most part, some people see that first quarter and they think, okay, well, we're on today and we might go on and win this by, 80 plus, 90 plus points. And I did
that's
too.
me. I think that too. Yeah, that's me as well. Yeah.
And then, the teams are always going to respond and they did, and West Coast did. It's just a shame to see us not be able to just go again, and blow it out again. And maybe that was due to the fact that we lost a couple and had to shuffle some pieces around. And like we said earlier, Zach, we invite pressure with the way that we play. We're not taking the game on. Handball receives, drop. So maybe they get comfortable out there, but we won the game, and the most important thing is winning. That's the most important thing.
That's the most important 100%.
Yeah, I feel like it was I feel like it was just a win. That's it.
It was just a win. We'll move on. I liked Jackson Binns today. I thought a lot of people played well, but I want to point out him. I think him coming in with Walsh, I think he played really well. I think that obviously a lot of people, underestimating him, but I think he was very good. He had 26 touches. He had about 60% exposure. I think he was very good. I think he was very, very good.
Well, the other thing on Jackson Binns, so obviously, like, he's got to tidy up his disposal, but 20 years old, played his 8th game, 26 touches. Like, he's got no issue winning the ball. Keep into account, a lot of the kicking today was off. I mean, whether people want to...
It was wet as well, yeah.
Yeah, it was wet. It was a wet weather game. It was
exactly.
It wasn't a clean disposal type game. Conditions weren't perfect. They were wet. So that might have something to do with the disposal efficiency of a lot of these guys. I mean, having said that, you got young Tom McCarthy playing his first game, goes at 93%. So,
you're gonna have some of those players, but who do you see coming in next week? Because hopefully Charlie gets up, but who do you see? And obviously Hudson O'Keefe will probably come out, but who do you see coming in?
Lemmy.
Lemmy. Knowing us, we'll probably bring in Lewis Young, but that's just us. But yeah, it's interesting.
Well, it might be Lewis Young, but I think with Hudson going down, I think Lemmy is great in the sense that, I mean, I want to see what he's capable of. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it, but he's had a couple of weeks now, kick goals. Granted,
he's hit 22 goals in VFL this year. So
yeah, it's interesting because it's funny that the narrative around like footy. It's like, like for example, when Charlie kicks 10 goals against West Coast, like, it's only West Coast. But when Lemmy kicks goals against Dom McQuay in the VFL and then the Northern Bull Ants today, it's, Lemmy, Lemmy.
Yep. That's us. Yep.
So yeah,
we'll see. You know, that's not up to us. You know, we'll analyze it. We'll, you know, have our you know, our thoughts and our, you know, opinions, but in the end of the day, it's up to the club, it's up to Voss and the selection committee and stuff. We'll see, Tez. But you know, we got the win. Go Blues, and you know, just enjoy the night, man. And I'll speak to you later next week.
All right, mate. You have a good night.
Good night, Tez. See ya. Go Blues.
Go Blues. Legend. Tyler.
Oh, hey Terry, how you going?
Mate, I'm going well. Sunday night. It's a bit of a weird one. Not too late. We won't be going into the early hours of the morning. Before tonight.
No. It was a win. It was a win. Nothing to write home about, to be honest. But we got it done. Like I saw it as a game of two different halves completely, and it was the same as last week as well. It's just, you know, what can you do? Like the first quarter was amazing. It was amazing, and that's what and I think the difference is it's the standard. The standard can drop so quickly. I don't know what it is. I agree. I reckon it's probably just mentality, but I feel like as well, like what sometimes is letting us down is it's just our kicking, not just our kicking, but it's more like our shots on goal. Like if you're going to do kick to kick, kick to kick, and like slow and methodical and all of that, you get it into that 50. You need to nail your shots. We were also very inaccurate as well. So we had opportunities. Like the one that pissed me off the most was in the final quarter, and we kicked that beautiful kick into friggin' Zach Williams, and he missed it. Couldn't friggin' believe it.
Do you know which one I think gets replayed in a lot of our heads tonight when we hit the pillow?
Yeah.
Blake Acres playing on hitting the post.
Yes,
Blake, Blake, what are you doing, Blake, mate? What are you doing, mate? You're like trying to mess with us. I'm sure of it. In his head, he thinks, fuck it. How can I get these fans to go to bed tonight not sleeping? I'm just going to play on.
Fuck. I don't fucking know anymore when it comes to shit like that. But like, as I was saying, like you just need to, if you're gonna do slow kick, you need to be, and you're gonna be methodical. You got to produce results, but also at the same time, you can't get to the 50 and then friggin' bomb it in. You've got to provide leads. You got to. Anyway. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like Gov had a really good game. I was wrapped with him. Even Haynes had a good game, to be honest, at the back.
So, I when I was trying to gather the rhetoric this week, I think it was on a team show, and I didn't do game day today because I just honestly, like, I just didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. I really didn't. And when I got the rhetoric and the vibe this week, it was, I think the general consensus was keep the Eagles to 50 or less. And, you know, obviously, you know, have it, you know, see a style of play that looks positive. You know, we've kept them to 50. We've seen a style of play that looks positive for the first quarter. And then obviously it's gone into a different style of play for the rest of the game. And I'm just thinking now, like Akers, you know, kicks that. Couple more that are pretty gettable. Let's be honest. I don't want to go through them one by one, but we can maybe later. All of a sudden, that's a 50-ish point win, and are we having a
Easily.
different conversation now? Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, we can only talk about what did happen,
Yeah.
and I don't want to get caught up in hypotheticals and what could
Yeah,
have
exactly,
happened.
100%. And I think as well, like you don't need a 100-point win or anything like that. I think 60 plus is more than enough. That's a solid win where you can take away. Okay, we did well here, not so good here, but okay, we can take away. You don't need to go out with a friggin' belting every week because it's never going to happen. So, but otherwise, like Binzi had a good game. Jeez.
Didn't mind a bit of Chincotta. I think the criticism last week
Yes, he
was
was very good
can
off the
he?
halfback. Yeah, he was great. Who else?
I'll give you one more. I'll give
yeah.
you one more that hasn't been mentioned that I thought played one of his better games. Orazio.
Yes. I
Good
was
signs.
really, really happy for him. Very happy for him. And then I don't know, Ollie Hollins. He also. I really like him. I really am loving him. I don't know, seeing him off the halfback flank. I see him more still on the wing, but like we're doing well. We're doing well with what we've got, but we just don't have that killer edge. I don't think we ever will, to be honest. We don't have that killer edge.
Not this year.
No, not this year. No, but
Not this
hey,
year.
let's just plug away at it, one game at a time. North Melbourne, 6-day break. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's see what we can do.
Mate,
So
you have a great night. Happy Sunday. And
Happy Sunday.
Go Blues.
Go Blues. See you, Terry.
See you, mate. Jesse.
Terry, how are we, mate? Good to hear from you.
Likewise, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to speak to you after a win as well. But geez, that was a frustrating night at the football, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you were there?
Yeah, I was there. Obviously live over in Perth. So I went to the game last week and I thought I was watching a carbon copy of what happened last week again, getting off to that brilliant start. Like, it's a weird phase of our game where we can just start off so well and then just plateau and, I don't know, go into our shell, feel too comfortable. It was a really interesting spectacle. We always felt like after that first quarter, the game was basically, it was done. We banked the 4 points, but like the guy just before, like perfectly said, like just that killer instinct, we just still haven't got it yet. And so it's hard to get a grip on exactly what's going on when we just sort of had those consistent fade outs. Like the clubs. I'm sure you're all aware of it. We talk about Fossey's talks about being consistent through the year, and we've basically been consistent at being inconsistent. So yeah, it makes for a weird spectacle, like.
Yeah. So you're one of, I think you're the only person that's called in so far that was actually there.
Okay, yeah.
What they were talking about it on the broadcast. About 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Simo was saying that Carlton had 50 handball receives in the first quarter, and then 10 for the rest of the game. So, like, what does that look like when you're? Yeah, what does that look like when you're there? The handball receives, the running, the overlap. What's that look like over there?
Well, like I know people probably say the weather conditions and stuff, but I was out on the ground before and I had a little feel. It's a little bit damp, and I know there was light drizzle. We're not talking about rain, and I'm sure Melbourne's had 8 or 9 months of rain from pre-season to now. We haven't had much rain over here at all, so I'm sure our players should be able to adapt pretty quickly to playing in wet weather conditions. But the thing I find is, like, especially at the ground the last 2 weeks, is we're so good at doing essentially the team defense sort of thing, but it's too many people are pushing up. I don't like seeing, as much as it's great to see small forwards laying defensive tackles inside our defensive 50. I don't really want them doing that, because when we get that outlet kick, the outlet kicks to 3-on-1. So we've pushed so many people up the ground that when we do get it out, there's no one there at the fall of the ball. And then, we're relying on Charlie to be held probably by one person, have another person jump over the top, or McGovern or O'Keefe today, because obviously Kerno got injured. But, and they're trying to work with one hand to try to bring it down to ground, and there's no one there. I think we just push way too far up. It's great because we're defending well as a unit, but I think it breaks down the rest of the game completely across the ground. And it looked like that today. We seemed to swarm so much that in that first quarter, we didn't. And like you said, like I can't believe, I'm staggered to hear that it was 50, what is it, like handball receives to 10 for the rest of the 10 for the rest of the game. Like, that's unbelievable.
With about 9 or so minutes to go, so I don't know how many they had in that final 9 minutes. Let's just say they had maybe 5 more, 6 more.
Yeah.
But I think in that there's something in what we were trying to do in the first quarter, and take the game on, and maybe they just shut the game down and just
maybe they did.
And on this side, we want killer instinct, and we want to win by 100 points, and we want the 95 Blues to be back, and they're ruthless and this and that. And on the other side, it's like, well, you're ultimately still trying to figure out who's moving forward with this group for the future, and are we trying to still get there into the finals? Are we trying to go on a run? Are we not? Like it's a bit. I think people are we're all a little bit confused as to like where to land our expectations, and it's tough because we're missing the enjoyment. I'm watching a lot of us just like lose the joy for footy because we're just never happy, no matter what.
I think that's the key word there. Like I don't, even growing up, like being 26 and having all these down years and stuff like that, this has been probably the least enjoyable year of football I've watched in a long time, and it's hard to see it. It's not hard to see where it's going to come next. I think it's still there, and I think it's good that we've been able to blood some debutants through the seasons where I think in past we haven't, but allow them to have a couple of games, like perfect opportunity tonight to play Lemmy, give him 2-3 games against, West Coast, North, see what he can do.
You mean Lemmy with Hudson O'Keefe? I feel you mean both of them?
I think it would be too. I think it maybe be a bit too tall, but now that Kerno's obviously gone down, I'm not too sure what happened there. I couldn't tell. But now is a good opportunity to play them as. And I will say one thing: like I had the absolute pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure to spend a lot of yesterday, especially the morning and afternoon, with Wayne the Dominator Johnson, and just talking to him. And I know it's a different game now and all this sort of stuff, but just their little, like for me, in my trade, I'm an electrician, and we have a thing called a principles book. And it doesn't matter if you started your apprenticeship in 1940, 1960, 80, 2000, 2025. The principles are the principles. And I think we go away from our principles quite a bit. And I put the question to the Dom, and I'll put it even to yourself. Like, do you think this current group and these players have pride in the way they use the football? Have pride in their possession?
No, not enough.
And that's what it looks like. It's just not enough pride and care in the way they're wanting to deliver the football. And I think
it's the attention to detail. It shows up. It shows up in the little things, in the attention to detail. It's a great question. Yeah.
Like I don't think you can ever fault our effort. Sometimes, like I think we actually work hard enough. It's just our lack of skill and a lack of ability seems to just consistently let us down. I think they work hard enough. They work so hard, and it's just like, you work so hard. Like you mentioned before about the acres, like running into goal. It's like, oh my gosh, we make this look so hard for ourselves. Like, what is going on?
To be fair, like he plays on in the final and kicks it. Like same sort of principle. Like it's footy.
Yeah. No. It's just like sometimes you got to laugh about it and stuff like that. And like, I think as much as it like was frustrating at the game tonight, like we still walk away. We banked the 4 points. Like you talk about like expectations before. I think now, like for the rest of the season, like we are playing very much like a bottom four. So like I said it to someone. I said, well, you just watch two of the. Like that's probably a bit harsh. We're definitely not a bottom four side, but for that first quarter, certainly not. But for maybe 2 quarters, I think that's the thing. You're always looking for that 4-quarter performance, and we just haven't reached that lofty standards of being able to consistently provide the attention to detail for 4 quarters. And you know what? We've got 2 wins in the bank in a row now. We can build a little bit of momentum. The season's still alive. Like, who knows from here? Who knows? But yeah, they've got plenty of work ahead of them.
What if I told you that next week we have an opportunity to be 7-7 after being 4-7?
I take it. You know, what were we? 3-8 and 23. 3 wins, 8 losses in 23, something like that at the bye.
4 wins, 8 losses, and a draw in 2023. But more important, more specifically for this year, given that we were 0-4 and then 4-7. Next week we have a chance to go to 7-7, and
I think you can start if you go 7-7, then you can have a proper hopefully the group have a proper chat with each other, a little bit of a mini reset once again. You know, a couple of wins after the bye and go. Now we've got this block to zero in. We got Port, we got Collingwood. You knocked them 2 over, and then it's like, okay. It's funny. I was at the club on Tuesday after the game, and it wasn't eavesdropping or anything like that, but I just heard Cripper, who was walking through, and he was talking to someone. And he's like, "Oh, just after Sunday, you can just feel it," and it was like you can just feel it again. And I went, "Oh, that's good. At least they're getting a feel, you know." Hopefully they can put that onto the football field, but who knows? Let's see. This season's thrown up curveballs.
Just chip away. Just
chip away. Wasn't
it.
That what Vaughn said the other week? Wasn't he talking about just chipping away or something?
Chip away, mate. Pound the rock.
Yeah, pound the rock. That was a Fagan thing, wasn't it?
Mate, I'm pounding my head against the rock, waiting for this thing to break. It just doesn't break.
Oh, I know. Oh, it's so it's a rock every year. It's a roller coaster. But you got to be on if you don't enjoy being on roller coasters and having the fun of it, then what are you doing? You got to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, and we certainly do that as a football club. But you got to enjoy the little wins along the way.
Good stuff, mate. Love your call. Thank you for bringing some energy to the call.
Anytime, mate. Look forward to it. Hopefully next week after another win, tune in again.
All right, mate. See ya.
Take care, mate. Good to speak to you, Tez.
Go Blues. The Duke Leverage Show, $5. Thank you. There's a reason we're all toxic and extreme. We've sat for 30 years while they chip away and play with themselves. The Carlton Dolls have us for sap. Petra Khan, $3.27. Superb 5+ goal win by the boys today in Perth. Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Okay. Moving along. Yuval. Wow. Yuval, it's been a while, mate.
Yeah, I'm still alive. You know, I haven't jumped off the Westgate Bridge going insane from watching Carlton for the last 3 years. You know, it's you know, I'm insane. You know, I just want to believe. You know, like in the Messiah. You know, I'm waiting for the Messiah still. So I'm insane. Like people who are religious, they're insane. You know.
Did you
that game?
I was going to say, when you saw the first quarter and the way that they were playing, did you think, "Oh, he's arrived! Like Messiah has arrived! Like this is it! Like they've flicked the switch."
I saw it last week against fucking Essendon. It was the same one against fucking Essendon. You know what? You have to watch Fogarty kick 3 goals and then fall asleep after half time. I mean, look, it's Voss has lost the team. Let's be honest. Let's all of us be honest. He's lost this fucking team. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They have no idea. There's no connection. It's like the same. They repeat the same thing every week. It's been like this since, round 15 last year when GWS wiped us. You know, wiped their balls all over our faces, you know, after we were up by 8 goals. I've been, you know, it's interesting because my partner, she's St Kilda, so it's fun watching, you know, Ross Lyon destroy St Kilda for the 3rd time. We've got Voss, who's destroying his second club. You know, it started with Brisbane and now Carlton. You know, it's all this recycled rubbish coaches that have visions and are off the mark. And likewise with Essendon, you know, they're sort of not going anywhere either. So we're not alone in this collective insanity that is of mediocrity, because that's all you can describe what's going on. But I think Voss has lost the players. I think we probably need a rebuild, not a full rebuild. We need some sort of rebuild. I think this era that we had with, Wiedering and Cripps, they're all fucking finished. Wiedering's been terrible all fucking year, mate. And we're playing a really shit team, and he's just a plodding fucking idiot, Wiedering. He thinks he's the best defender in the league.
No,
He's terrible. He's terrible.
The last few weeks he was definitely down, but I think today he definitely turned it around. I don't think he was that bad today. The last few weeks for sure.
We still don't, we don't repel. It's like we've played the same game for the last month where we've been up by 5 goals, 7 goals, and then we do nothing. It's like, what goes on in their heads? If I was on that ground, mate, we're up on 7 goals, I want to kick another 2 goals. If I'm a forward, I want to kick another 2 goals by halftime. Let's just build the lead. All right, they're putting pressure on us. Well, let's rebound better, or maybe let's slow the game around or find spread better. I don't know. And then they just do this hack, kick it in the air game, kick it on the ground. It's just dumb. It's like, do they even know how to play football? It's like, basics like that. They forget after, all right, we've got a lead by, we've had a really good first quarter, and then why can't they repeat it? Is it because De Koning's leaving and he kind of loses interest? Like he looks like he's checked out. He doesn't really care.
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was pretty active today and last week.
He's active in patches. You know what I mean? He's sort of active in patches. I mean, he's better than Pittonet, but it's sort of, I don't know, it's the sort of standard of players that we've gotten used to, and they just haven't. They all plateau. I mean, this year.
So, question, like I totally take your point, but I think we're very well aware of where the team's at right now. So of what you did see today, what is there to take away for the future? What do you take away from what you saw today that you say, okay, we need more of that moving forward?
Well, there's not much because I don't know how to do it. But what I was trying to say initially, the teams that do well, I think there's one thing that's blatantly clear. And as I was using teams like Essendon and St Kilda and us and blah, 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 the teams that are doing well, and, I was listening to the GWS game yesterday, GWS versus Brisbane. The teams that do well have good fucking forward lines, right? Our forward line is not a good fucking forward line.
Okay,
right?
So let's break down our forward line today, right? So Curnow,
Fogarty, 3 goals in the first quarter. The only forward that we've got in our forward line, and even he's, as some people say, is a hack, is Zach Williams.
Okay, but let's just break it down for a second. The forward line: Curnow, O'Keefe, Fogarty, Motlop, Williams. Couple more in there, but Curnow goes down second half, so all of a sudden McGovern. So then all of a sudden it's McGovern, O'Keefe, Durden, Motlop. So clearly,
they're terrible. They're terrible. Durden's terrible. Durden's terrible. Motlop's terrible.
Okay.
Motlop's terrible. Fogarty is a plodder. I mean, all right, cool. He kicks 3 goals and does nothing for the rest of the game. Can't even kick a point, And then Blake Acres, mate. He's what do they say in Italian? He's a Pinocchio or something. I mean, that goal, mate. That goal. What the fuck? I'm watching. He's going, good on you, Acres, and he kicks it off his shin. I mean, what the fucking, and it's like last week against Essendon, it's all right, we're 4 goals up. They get, then, Curnow has a shot, easy shot. Oh, he'll just fucking miss it.
All right. Okay.
And then Motlop has that shot at the end, to make it a reasonably good win. And then you watch Essendon yesterday, how pathetic they were. because they were giving away goals, Essendon. They were giving away goals to Geelong. I mean, we beat Geelong and they're giving away goals, Essendon we should have beaten by 5 to 8 goals if we were a good fucking team. And we just,
So,
but that's it. That's it. Look, we will probably lose to North next week. I mean, I don't know.
Why? Based on what?
Because North are desperate to win.
So
we're not. I don't think we're not playing to win game. I don't know what we're doing even. We rock up and we go, all right, well, we're all excited to play the first quarter. And then we've got no energy. We've got no energy after the first quarter. We've done this for the last 6 weeks, mate.
So North are going to beat us because they want to win games more than what we want to win games?
Yeah, they've got good players and they've got a fucking coach who's, he's starting to get their players up and running. Voss has lost our fucking team. He cannot get these guys inspired. It's like there's some podcast. Someone was telling me about a soccer podcast, and they're saying a coach's job is to improve players. Right, a good coach will get the biggest nuffy player and make them a serviceable to good player. Our coach has got supposedly elite players, Brownlow medalists, all Australians, and they're playing like fucking VFL.
Well, we've also got guys
like VFL.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I think George Hewitt's playing like a star. I think Chincotta gets a lot out of himself. I think if you can look for what you want to look on one end, it's what you're looking for. Yuval, thanks for calling in.
But our elite players have gone backwards. Come on, agree with me. Our elite players have gone backwards.
They're not elite.
They're not going to take us to a flag. They're not elite. They're not elite. They've gone from elite. Adam Sard has gone from all Australian to good ordinary chip kicker.
Right. So we want a team of champions, or we want a champion team? What do we want?
We want a champion fucking team. That's what we want. That's what we've always wanted.
So, like, where did idolizing these individuals get us?
It's got us nowhere. But the problem is they're not like Cripps today got like 3 kicks after first quarter. Let's be honest. Like, our elite players have let us down since round 15. Our elite players have just gone like this. It's like when Trump put in the tariffs. It's like they put a tariff on our elites. They go like,
okay, all right.
I can't. It's madness. I've gone crazy from this fucking club. I mean, I watch them, but I can't. It's like a drug. You go, oh, I miss it. I'll have to go back and watch Carlton play. So yeah, all right. I watch Carlton and I'm feeling high, and then I'm feeling like shit. Who cares? We won. We should have won by 10 goals. It was like we're watching it. In the last minute, we had a shot. We should have put it 46 points. We end up winning by 34 points. It's like we don't care. We lose the percentage. We won't make the 8 because we don't want to make the 8. We don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
All right, Yuval, Leila Tov, have a good one. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, good. See ya. Bye.
Yeah. Did we lose? Oh. Okay. Beachy.
You expect me to follow that? Good Lord. Okay.
Please don't yell at me.
Well, let's get rid of the rebuild for a start. Let's get rid of the word rebuild for a start. We've only beaten West Coast, for crying out loud. Let's everybody settle down. We would have loved to have won by more than 34 points. But unfortunately, that's football. And we've had injuries which have not helped us as well. But once again, c'est la vie. We've had a win tonight over a side that we should have beaten by more than 10 goals. As I said, c'est la vie.
Yep. we beat them by 71 points earlier in the year, and I remember the fan cams stopped getting so excited. It was only West Coast. We beat them by 34, and it was not enough. Haven't yet mentioned some of the really solid young contributors that we got tonight. Like, I don't know. Like, is it flag? Is it like if you're not winning the flag and if you don't look like you're winning the flag all year round, then you cannot enjoy anything? Or is it we are like building towards hopefully winning a flag one day? And in the process of building towards one day winning the flag, you got to like, find things that are working, plays that are working. Like, I don't know, Beachy, mate, make it make sense to me.
I tell you what, mate, if I ever am able to make it make sense for you, I'll send you a message at say 4 a.m. in the morning and we'll go from there. But
Beachy,
look.
Lockie Fogarty kicked 3 goals and had 17 possessions, and that wasn't enough.
Can I just say as well, right?
Oh my
I
God!
follow Blues.afl. Okay,
yeah,
that was it, and what he said. What he said was tonight. He was the highest rated player on the ground. Highest rated player on the ground, despite the fact that George Hewitt had 30 plus again tonight in what were pretty tough and wet conditions. So he was practically saying, perfect for George ball. And you know what? Fine. That's fine by me. But, we've got to make sure that we actually stamp on this because, when we see teams down there, we've got to do what we're supposed to do. And we did today. So I'm very happy with that, despite the fact I would have loved to have won by more than 34 points.
Yeah. And reality is Harry, Elijah, Walsh, Kerno for the most part. Like, these are very important parts to the puzzle. Very important
Exactly.
parts.
They're bigger pieces than we think they are. They're bigger pieces than we think they are. And once they get themselves up and running, full steam ahead, no injuries, all that, we're going to be fine. We're absolutely going to be fine. But they've got to make sure that they're right first. There's no point rushing them back just for the sake of who we're playing against.
Yeah. Where are you? Are you in Perth?
Yeah, I'm in my hotel in Fremantle.
I love you. I absolutely fucking adore you. You went there. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, I've been staying in Fremantle for the weekend. I'm flying back tomorrow morning because the last time I called in from a game in Perth, I did a red-eye flight, and let's just say, long story short, I was a zombie and really surprised that my head didn't hit the desk at work the following morning. So, yeah, here we are. We've decided to try and do this properly this time around.
Dare I say it, Beachy? We might win next week as well. We're a chance.
Well, that's funny you say that because we should be beating North Melbourne this week, and I was keeping my eye on the twos while in Perth. Harry Lemmy kicked 4 goals, 2 in an 86-point win over our former allies for almost 20 years out at Preston. So if Charlie goes down and Harry doesn't get up and we don't have HUD for this game coming up against the Roos, I think someone might need to tap Little H on the shoulder and say, hey, you're required in the ones. Let's go. Let's get you on the MCG. Let's get you in it. Let's get you a club. Let's get you a ones debut for the club.
Yeah. Well, got to see what he's got. I mean, you got to give him a chance, whether he's able to make it at the level or not. You got to see what he's made of, and we've had him on the list for quite a few years now. So, I think he will come in for Hudson, to be honest. And I think with Charlie, it said calf tightness. I don't think he's injured. They also mentioned that he was showing signs of it against the Bombers. So let's just see what happens there. Lucky we have Beachy. Lucky we have the imaging center at the club now. So he'll fly straight into Melbourne, straight home, straight for a scan, mate. Got the imaging center now. We're good to go. Good to go, Beachy.
Oh yeah, fantastic! Absolutely fantastic. The best part of the club's money we've ever spent. Look, the best part of that, absolutely. We won't have to go anywhere else for it. It's right there for us. Bear in mind, we've got to remember as well, right? Lemmy's, been part of the tours for God at least 2, 3, maybe even 4, maybe even 5 years, and he's kicked in the last few games 10 plus goals total. This is 6 of which were against the Swans at the SCG. So surely that means he's done enough for a potential debut against the Roos. However,
I think so.
I'm sitting in a hotel in Fremantle. I'm not working for the club. So what am I going to know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what time are you flying back to Melbourne?
8 o'clock in the morning. So that's Perth time, that is. So it'll be about 10 o'clock in Victoria. And then I'm supposed to land in Melbourne, all going well, at about 1:30. So I've said to work, nah, I'm not coming in. I'm taking the Monday off, and I'm going to see you at work on Tuesday. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, mate, you have a safe flight. You have a nice sleep. Watch the replay of the first quarter and then turn it off. And we'll chat to you this week.
Too easy, mate. Speak to you soon.
See ya. Webby, get in here, mate.
Hello, Terry.
How are you feeling, mate? What did you make of the performance tonight?
Shit, but a win's a win.
Hey, bank 'em.
A win's a win. I'll start with that. A win is a win.
Okay.
But what are we doing, Terry? Seriously, what are we doing after quarter time? Please, someone explain it to me.
That is the greatest question of all. What are we doing after quarter time after we generate so much overlap run? Yeah.
Is that coaches or players? Or both,
Mate,
in your opinion? Or you can't
everyone.
answer it?
It's everyone, mate. It's the board. Fuck it. Sack the board, mate. It's the board. Fuck it. That's why they slowed down after quarter time.
We got outscored by West Coast after quarter time.
Did we?
Come on, Terry. We accept the bare minimum at this football club.
Yeah,
the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Let's lift our standards. Lift our standards.
Webby talking about standards, mate, on a Sunday night. Mate, tell me about standards, Webby. Tell me what they should be. What should the standards have been tonight? What were the standards for the margin tonight? Minimum.
No. It's not about margin, Terry.
Well, it is.
I don't care. No, it's not.
Well, you just said that we lost after. Well, it is about.
It's about how we play, Terry.
No, hang on.
Play. It's not good enough.
Once I agree, but 1 second. You just mentioned that we lost to West Coast after quarter time after being up by 46. So, what was the margin that we needed to beat them by in order for that standard to be there?
If you're 39 points up at quarter time, I would probably expect a 10-goal win, wouldn't you?
Sure. So 60 points should have been a 10-goal win.
Yeah, but as I said, it's about the performance. How can we run and gun, lower the eyes in the first quarter, and then for 3 quarters go back to the kick mark game where our skills aren't great anyway, and we want to play that style of football?
I wish I had the answer for you, mate. You know what I have for you? I have just as many questions as you have for the club.
Okay. Well, Terry, Do a favour for me.
Yeah, mate.
Turn up to the
Yeah.
AGM and
Yeah.
ask these questions to the people running the club. Can you do that for me?
I'm going to write this question down.
Good man.
Why do we not beat the Eagles by 10 goals in round 14 of 2025? And where are the standards? Got it.
Thank you. What other questions do you have in that book, by the way?
Oh,
We got all night if you want. We can,
mate, you know
we
what?
can go through-
I might write these questions down with my biro, you know?
I'll tell you who's been underrated this year for us a little bit. Nick Haynes. Nick Haynes.
Yeah.
I reckon he's been pretty good for us.
Well, I reckon that whole backline's not as bad as what it seems. I think the rest of the field's letting them down, putting them under pressure. Still don't know. I don't know. Like, there were so many positive signs about this ball movement. Like, I thought Orazio looked like a brand new human in the first half.
I thought he looked good. Yeah.
And I thought Binsey, I thought he was all right for the majority of the game. These are the little signs that I'm looking at moving forward. Young fellas, showing that they can handle it. I think Cincotta showed that he's more than just a tagger. Who would have thought another game under his belt would help with that? I think Jack Silvani, Nick Haynes, solid back there. At the end of the day, you've got.
Was fine.
Yeah, he was
fine.
Is it fair to say?
He's not a plotter. He's not a plotter. Let's just put that out there. He's not a plotter.
Wiedering? No, he's not a plotter. He's not a plotter.
No, he's not.
He's not a plotter. Once Curnow goes down, if you really look at that forward line, you've got McGovern all of a sudden as your main target, with Hudson O'Keefe for a quarter, who then does his hammy. So what's that? McGovern with Durden, Motlop, Fogarty, Williams. Like, that was always going to be a struggle to score. Like, once that happens, let's be honest. So, again, you can say that's an excuse, or you can look at it the reality of it. No Curnow, and then you've got McGovern with no second tall.
I thought he was quite good, McGovern. I thought he was
too, considering it's his second game as a forward for the year.
He was fine. Yeah.
Swinging back for 5 minutes when, shit hits the fan, and then he goes back forward. He actually has a pretty nice set shot on him that everyone was reminded of tonight.
He does. Look. We don't have to blow the joint up. A lot of people out there want to blow the joint up. We don't have to do that, right? We just need to refresh the assistant coaches, which should have happened at the end of last year. Brian Cook, towards the end of 2024, came out and told us that we are going to beef up the coaching box for 2025. That never happened. Now, why?
Wow.
Why not?
Yeah. That's on the agenda for October. That's agenda item number 1. The second that final siren blows at the end of whenever the last game is that this team is playing, mate. Agenda item number 1.
For me, it was pretty clear towards the back half of 2024, this coaching box wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. It got us to Brisbane. It got us to a final. Great, awesome. You always want to play finals.
Yeah.
But teams found us out towards the back end of 2024. teams worked us out.
And then I think on top of that as well, obviously the injuries happened, and that's why they made the change to Andrew Russell, brought in Rob Innes, which, to be fair, touch wood, I think the soft tissue situation is better than what it was. I mean, it's early days, but I would say it's already starting to show signs of improvement.
Apart from Lockie Cowan, who's unfortunately done his hamstring a couple of times.
Yep,
but
absolutely. I think there might be one more. Yeah.
Apart from that, it's been.
So when you break it down, right? So I mean, you can only make change in stages, right? So a couple of years ago, it was the guys that we drafted that weren't coming along: Fisher, Petrevsky, Seaton, Dow, O'Brien, these types. So like sort of move them on and bring in fresh blood, and then we had to go and get rid of the injury prone guys, the Martin, the Marchbank, the Cunningham. So in stages. Last year we got rid of them plus the strength and conditioning guy, and went in a different direction there. And this year, is it assistant coach? Is that it? The assistant coaches is like agenda item number one, or is it more players that need to go?
Well, in my opinion, it's coaching.
So same list. Obviously, you have to make changes.
I don't think it's personnel. No.
Okay.
No. That's in my opinion.
Fair.
What do you think?
Beef up the football department. Well, I think beef up the football department for sure. We're going to get. I think there's the announcement came out. You get to spend. Someone's got the quote for me. It might be $750,000 more now in the soft cap, something like that. And then a portion of the head coach's salary goes in there as well. So beef up that damn football department, number one, and then there's 10 guys out of contract as we speak right now. So I'd like to see a bit of a regeneration of.
We also need to focus more on the football than outside things.
Football first.
Football first. The core business is football. Write it down.
Football first.
Right. I don't care about an imaging center. I don't care about winning a new car. I don't care about a home loan.
I want a new car.
All I care about is winning games of football and winning premierships. That's all I ask. That's all we all ask. Just win games of football.
Well, like today, just win games of football.
Just win, yes.
And last week, win games of football.
Yeah.
No, BT, I think it should be win games of football by 10 goals every week.
No. Oh, well, we'd all love to win by 10 goals every week.
Lift the standard.
You're taking the piss now. Honestly.
I'm having a bit of fun with it. But you know what? You're right. You're not wrong. I think we're a bit angry. I think we're just a little bit angry.
We are angry because of the performances week to week.
Yeah, I know.
They're not good enough. And you know that, Terry. You know that. You're not stupid. You're not dumb.
I'm not stupid. No. I'm a little bit dumb.
No, you're not.
Mate, I've been following Carlton for a living. I think that's a pretty dumb move.
I don't know about you, but this is how sick I am. When they got within 35 points before they called it back for the touched, when Adam Terra touched, I'm like, they'll fucking come back and win this.
No way. No way.
I said it to Dad. I'm like, you fucking watch. Watch them turn it in.
They were never winning.
That is how sick we are as Carlton supporters. Well, me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you weren't alone. I never thought that the Eagles were going to come back and win the game. It was a bit frustrating. They kicked a couple in a row here and there in the second, I think it was. And I thought they scored 52 for the game. And, I just think we stopped. Our scoring was impacted by A, the way that we were playing and moving the ball after quarter time, and B, some players went down in that forward half, and then it was very much a makeshift forward line that, McGovern's your key target. He's been in the back line all year. So,
who the hell's Bailey Williams? Who's Bailey Williams when he's at home?
Did he kick 3 today? Yeah, he did. Bailey Williams and Ruck.
A PB for him, I heard him say.
Fuck.
Who are these blokes? They just pop up against Carlton every week.
There's 2 new ones.
These guys?
There's 2 new ones this week. Dewar from the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Breakout game. Dewar. And then
was that the number 43?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
And then there was the first game.
The mid-season draftee.
Hey. 31 possessions, 93% disposal efficiency.
In the wet.
Only
in the wet.
In the wet. Oh
my God. This club. I can't go on. Oh, I can, but
you can. You were at the VFL last week. What are you talking about? I can't.
A couple weeks ago, I was when. Yeah.
Listen.
Did you watch him today? Did you watch the VFL at all?
Oh, I watched enough of it today. Yeah, they played the Bull Ants, which they played the Bull Ants.
You can only beat who you come up against, but
whoa! But that logic doesn't apply when we play against. Hang on. I'm confused. You can only play up who you play against in the VFL, but in the AFL it doesn't count.
No, I'm not saying that at all. Anyway.
Beat Webby 6 and 7. Do we beat the Roos next week?
I would hope so.
What's the
Harry Lemme will probably come in.
Hope so. I'd like to see him.
I'd say, and Ben Campo's getting pretty close. Pretty close now, I think. I watched his last quarter. He was really good in the last quarter.
Where do you think whose spot do you think he takes?
Yeah. This is the thing. Like, where do you play him? He's an inside mid only, in my opinion. But all I'm saying is he's getting closer. He's getting closer and closer.
He's doing well. Yeah.
He's doing well. Debut.
Webby, mate, just keep fighting the good fight, yeah?
Keep fighting the good fight. That's what we do.
Go Blues.
Go Blues.
Kel.
Oh, hello.
You are on the. You're on the side. Why is that?
Oh,
why,
sorry.
Why?
Is that better?
That's better, mate. How are you?
I'm good.
What did you make of that performance tonight?
Oh, yeah, look, I was quite happy like most people with the first quarter, but, God, even against West Coast, we do this drop-off shit.
Yeah. It's fucking, it's hard going.
Yeah, for sure. Look, in the last quarter, I noticed something that we do quite often is we get off, don't stay on our opponent too well.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
As
well as this, like Kerno was saying the other week, flooding the area, and then we're not on our opponent either.
Do you take much from the result, or?
Well, look, a win's a win, like everyone else says, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. How do you feel about the upcoming couple of weeks now? Winnable games, I would say.
Yeah, well, look, they're winnable, but hey, whether we win them or not, yeah, exactly, whether we win them or not.
Yep. Best on ground tonight?
Oh, yeah, either Hewitt or Binns, I reckon.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you be there next week? MCG, North Melbourne?
No, unfortunately, I live in Hobart and I don't get to many games.
Fair. When's the last time you were at a game? Have we played? In Tassie?
Oh, yeah, we did. We played the Kangaroos in 2019 last.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that very
Yeah.
clearly. I reckon Liam Jones got knocked out that day.
Yeah, quite possibly. I can't remember. I know we played a
And I-
piss poor effort that night too. Anyway,
And I reckon Cripps or Murphy were laid out that night as well. I think I remember that.
I think it was both even.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah. Cal, mate, thanks for calling in and sharing your thoughts, and we will speak soon.
No worries. Go Blues.
Go Blues. All right. Lucky last. Connor, hello, mate.
Hello, Terry.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I am going okay. Sunday night, we've wrapped up a win against the Eagles, and away we go, mate.
Yeah, so kind of was watching that game, and I was kind of knew that thing was coming up on, so I went ahead and watched on KO, and I was surprised at the start of the first quarter. It was very interesting. It was very that 7 goals. But we did pretty well, and then ended up things interesting at the second quarter,
Yeah.
and third quarter interesting as well. But the last quarter, I don't know why, but I think we did okay at last quarter, but they were coming up very fast. They were coming up to trying to score our score down, but we hold it off.
Connor, what if I told you that it was 6 and 7 and we might be able to even the ledger next week? Do you think we can beat the Roos?
I hope we would do the next week, but I hope this confidence will help him go up.
Yeah.
But I'm not stressing this yet because there's no telling at the moment. But I just hope we do the win next week.
Okay. Well, make sure you're tuning in. Also on Thursday, don't forget the raffle. We're going to draw out the winner of the signed Guernsey. So make sure you're here on Thursday night, okay?
Yeah, I'll definitely be on.
All right, mate. Thanks for calling in. Speak to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, Connor. The star. Okay. That's it. We're fucked, mate. We're fucked. The whole lot of us. Fucked. So tied down from years of frustration and expectation. Oh, yeah. Why are we so fucked? Yeah. Honestly, I just try and find a way to just keep moving because it's just, it's out of everyone's control. That's the hardest part. It's out of our control. And you really shouldn't, in life, you shouldn't focus on things that are out of your control, but we do. I just see a supporter base that, want it so much. It's, the want of the thing is so great that it can get in the way of seeing the steps to get there. And maybe I did for sure, maybe when we made the prelim that year, I thought, the turning point that we've been waiting for is finally here. And, we've we've gone backwards from there a bit, and we're not that team. And and it's just hurting everyone, you know. So my way is not the right way. My way is just my way. But I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying like we shouldn't be getting so worked up to the point where like it hurts, like mentally, physically, like it's not good for your health. You know, footy's meant to be joyful, and if you're struggling to find joy in this, like you maybe should step away a bit. So I'm trying to find that balance between keeping it lighthearted, not taking it too seriously, but obviously taking it extremely seriously because, you know, I give my life to this. So it's complex. I don't know. They won. They belted them in the first quarter, and they won. And no matter what happened in this game, I don't think it was going to mean anything as to whether or not they are real, they are contenders, they are not contenders. It was just one of those weird games. And we've now seen 2 Eagles games. The first one, 71 points. Why is everyone getting so excited? It was only West Coast. The second game, 34 points. Why didn't they win by more? So you just can't win. You just can't. And that is the hard part. And that is the hard part. So I don't know. Oh yeah, as I mentioned to Connor, got a Corey Durden signed Guernsey to give away, player edition. He signed it on both sides. We're giving this away on Thursday. Okay, Thursday on the team show. So if you want to enter, the link to enter is pinned to the live chat at the top. If you are a member of Blue Abroad, you automatically have an entry. But if you want more entries, you can go for it. So we'll do that. I thought Durds played okay as the sub. What do you have? Yeah, the 8 touches, 4 marks, kicked a goal in a half a footy. I thought he was okay. Now that I look at, well, you know what? Let's get it up. We're going to do ratings tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll unpack all of that there. But let's get it up. I want to see this scoring worm as well. Let's have a look at this. The timeline. Yeah, absolute dominant. And then like the Eagles just, they never really got to striking distance. We kind of just played with them a bit. It was a bit of the opposite of what Geelong did over there. They let the Eagles cook a little bit, and then in the fourth quarter, they blew it away. Whereas we blew it away early and then just held. So there's that. Efficiency inside 50. Nearly 53%. Our season average, 44%. Yep. Lost the center clearances. Interesting. Yep. Yeah, up on all our averages for the year, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know what this tells any of you there. So you got that. Oh, I know. I want to see if there's any Carlton interviews from the rooms. Oh, why can't we watch the presser? Why can't we watch the presser? Like, seriously. All right. We can't. It is what it is. There will be clips coming out, I'm sure, throughout the week. I think we just leave it there, to be honest. That's right, Bugs. It does tell me that we won. Can I ask those of you who are still here, why are we so mad with that? Like, does beating West Coast tonight by 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 make us happier, like genuinely happier and able to just enjoy the moment for what it was. Like, honestly, does it really? Does it really? Does a 10+ goal win have this fan cams in a totally different vibe? Like, really? Because it's 30 years. Okay, but like these players weren't even born. Like the like 30 years. Okay. It's the way that we play. Okay. You're not mad. Did the job earlier than cruise through. I generally thought that was the case as well. When the game was truly up for grabs, like got the job done. At the end of the day, got the job done. Could have won by more for sure. Probably should have won by more. Missed some ridiculous shots on goal. Because we love the club. I'm going nowhere for 30 years. Okay. Enjoy the moment. On to next week. I'm with you. Like, time to get over the 30 years. Like, if it was like, I think it's relative to this group. It can only be relative to this group. So like 2015, 16 onwards. Really. Because nothing has changed. Watch the press conference and get back to me. Okay. Shocking foot skills. Someone's recruited that, and yet another someone keeps playing these incompetents. Okay. I know what we can do. Maybe we can take a look at the VFL. See what happened there. Today means very little. Yeah, I understand that. Trust me. But does winning by 10 goals mean more? Like, does it actually change the sentiment? Because on the one hand, it's only West Coast. On the other hand, it's not only the Bull Ants when we're talking about bringing better players in and like not playing certain players. Like, what do we got here? Jordan Boyd had 30. And then I guess the decision is, are you playing him or Matt Carroll? Billy Wilson looks like he's had a pretty good showing here. Pito looks like he's had a good showing here. 20 touches, 40 hitouts, 10 clearances. Again, they've played the Bull Ants, one of the worst teams going around at the moment, struggling at their knees. Ben Camporelli, Harry Lemmy's kick 4, again, playing the Bull Ants in the VFL, not against AFL listed players. So just want to make sure we're being very careful about just saying, like, just play the kids. Ashton's had 20. Played a little bit more in the midfield from what I saw today. Had some nice little passages of play. So that was the story there. Anyone up for a long black at the Blues Cafe 8 a.m. tomorrow? Won't be able to get there at 8 a.m. That's for sure. I wonder if Carlton Blues fans has put up VFL highlights yet. Wouldn't that be nice? Let me check. Carlton Blues fans. Oh. No, it's Carlton FC Blues. No VFL highlights yet. We wanted to see 3 more quarters like the first against a side like West Coast. We expected a smashing. Okay. Put the Q in the rack. I'm a crack up. Am I? If you can't have fun. You're right, John. Write it down. Running out of paper. Mental, sorry. Mental Health Center. Got it. AGM. I got it. Don't think that's fair on Lemmy. He's been in good form. He's well and truly done his apprenticeship. Hey, I agree. See what he's made of. Throw him in the deep end. Absolutely throw him in the deep end. It's not so much the margin, it's the trend of fade outs. Okay. Buy more paper and pens. It's built up anger from this season. Years, in fact, have taken over. Whether it's right or wrong, it seems it can't be looked past. Can't enjoy the little things when the big picture has been so fucked. Yeah, I get it. And then, you know when I noticed it? When we did this. I'm going to do it quickly because, yeah, we did this exercise on Logan. I'm not sure if you were here on Thursday. Like, just as a quick exercise, just think about what comes to mind when it comes to feelings when you just look at these results. Like, it just gives you the memories of these nights that we've had. It's like, fuck. So my question is this just part of the it is part of the process. It just hasn't been convincing at all. But is it ever going to be convincing? Like, and I find that we constantly compare ourselves to Geelong and Collingwood and the like, which I get it, your benchmark. I understand that. But it's sort of getting to the point where we're comparing so much to where Geelong are right now and so much to where Collingwood are right now. We haven't taken into account the foundations that were set for both those clubs decades ago. And I'm watching it. I'm watching us all get taken away from everything else other than the moment. So I don't know. I don't know what, I mean, the solution, I would have thought the solution is keep winning. We've won a couple in a row now. That doesn't seem to be the solution. Maybe it's keep winning, and then if you beat Port Adelaide, and then if you beat Collingwood, then maybe that general sentiment will turn and we can get behind them again. And yeah, we're the modern day St Kilda. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't really see the Saints. I don't really see us getting blown out like the Saints do. I mean, we got blown out against who was it? Adelaide this year. Got blown out like completely. I think the Giants game flattered us, to be honest. Lost by 28. Yeah, no, we didn't get blown out any like, I don't know. I get what you mean, like the whole mediocrity thing, but I don't like, mate, 20,000 people at their home game on Thursday night. Can we watch the post-match presser? No, we can't, because unfortunately, every time we watch it, I get a copyright infringement, and I have to, and the fan cams gets taken down. I got to go through this whole process to get it back up. So no, we can't. I would love to. What if we listen? Oh, what if we listen to the press conference? Don't play the footage, but we play the audio. Should we try it? Should we try that? Play the audio? Do you guys want to like listen to the press conference? All right. I'm going to try it. How do I do this? Yeah? How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? No, I don't think the audio. It might. It might. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. Okay, we can do this. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I know what to do. from my phone. The audio isn't copyright. No. I'm going to download the audio. It's downloading now. Stand by. And then I'm going to plug in the audio into here, and then we're going to listen to it. Or I could play last week's presser. It'll be the same. iPhone near the microphone. Yeah. But like, I mean, I'm going to get the proper audio right now. It's downloading. It's 19 seconds away. And then I'm going to play the audio through here. All right. Oh, did we just crack the code? We cracked the code. Okay. Audio. The only thing is I won't be able to. Hang on. I won't be able to pause it. I want to be able to pause it. So what I'm going to do is. Okay. Let me try something here. Bear with me. Can you hear this? You can't. Okay. Never mind. This is what we're going to do. It's better when you listen to it fully and don't pause it. Put notes on your notepad. Okay. I'll do that. All right. Okay. It's going to work. I'm going to do it here. Only music you have made. Okay. Add music. All right. It's uploading. Can I watch it at the same time and mimic the facial expressions? Thanks. No, I cannot do that. All right. Ready? Douglas, come to Perth for the Freo game. No. No. I don't trust them at this point to win interstate. And I just don't want to go ruin my night. All right. Can you hear this?
Yeah, and we knew, anytime you play away, a start's important. Obviously losing Walshy probably later in the week too sort of dampened the team a little bit coming in, but really confident still about what we could do. We do build our game off, I think, the right things. The sort of effort that we bring and energy we put into our contest and the pressure we want to put on the game, and that's what you need at every game that you play. So we'll keep challenging the players to be able to play in that manner for the entirety of the game. But when you come away to a away venue, it's pretty important that you don't get the crowd involved and you don't get a young team, feeling too good about themselves at the start of a game.
How hard is it to continue that momentum when you've effectively got the game in the bag, and it seemed like there were times in that second half where perhaps going through the motions and things like that?
Well, I'd like to think that most of the things that we talk about is not really much to do about the scoreboard. It's about how we want to play and the standards we want to play to. So we'll continue to reinforce what that actually looks like for us. And the great thing that we've got is that we've got a really clear picture about what that actually looks like. The method of football we want to play, in all three phases is really clear for us. So our ability to sustain that over the course of 4 quarters shouldn't be determined what the scoreboard's actually doing to us. It should be about just more what mode do we need to play, what has the opposition adjusted, and then what do we need to correct in our play to be able to get back to where we need to. So you're not going to get your own way for 120 minutes. But what we can do is continue to be really clear on the way we play, keep bringing the intensity we need, and keep being a great teammate.
How important was your handball in that first quarter, in that fast start?
Yeah, we did break them open pretty well, but look, to West Coast credit over the last month, I think what is becoming clear is a real clear identity about the way they want to play, and the real threat for us was, their ball movement out of back half, and maybe the weather sort of played a bit of a role in that. But I felt like that was a really key thing for us. We put a lot of energy into that, and they've been able to generally get a lot of ball speed, and they weren't able to in the first half. I don't think they really got a lot of ball speed across the whole night, to be honest with you. So there's a fair bit of work that needs to in our team system be able to make that happen. So with that came some opportunities back the other way, and fortunately we were able to take those opportunities, control field position.
Did you want to go into a different mode in the second half when you had a few injury concerns?
It was a bit to deal with at half time. So obviously our tools were our major issue, and not having them. So working out who was going to be second ruck, and were we going to play a small forward line? Do we need to shift anyone out of the back half to the front half? So there was a fair bit to think about. That's an unusual spanner that we got thrown to us, but probably didn't adapt necessarily as well as what we'd like. But I feel like our intensity dropped just a little bit too much, and strayed from what set us up in a really good position in the first half.
Is it calf tightness?
Yeah,
Can you give us your assessment of what you know?
Well, calf tightness, but I think we sort of got to the point where we weren't going to take any risk with it. So, Charlie mentioned about going back out there, but ultimately it was sort of made the decision that that was a risk not worth taking. So we'll find out clearly, obviously, what happened. Hutto's done his, hurt his hamstring, so that was a little bit tight. And then obviously was, I think during the third quarter, was it that he hurt it again? So we'll get that scan and find out how he goes.
You've been all year. You're basically going uncontested footy. I think you're number one contested for the competition, and up 20 odd halfway through the second quarter. What happened halfway through the second quarter? I think they've taken the contested game, leveled, and jumped in front of you a little bit after that period of time. What changed?
Yeah, it's the intensity on the game. We obviously weren't able to continue to play at the same intensity. So, after half time, it's not a fatigue thing. It's just, are we still valuing the right things? Does the scoreboard actually matter? And we'll dig into that. But what we'll also do is make sure that, put up on lights exactly what we want to play like, and what are the behaviours that we need that support us. So our challenge will be how do we sustain that? Because we're not right now. So we need to be able to sustain that for longer than what we are. So, but it's not because the players won't have a really clear picture on what works. We've got that clear picture, but clearly we're obviously not playing it for long enough.
Is it the same that you get asked?
Why?
Second half, you've won 7 quarters after half time all season. Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing tonight? Same thing last
Yeah, there's some familiarity to it. Yeah, a familiar tale. So, but I think like the wash up will be that we'll look at that and look at it in due course over the course of the next couple of days, and we'll continue to have those conversations. It's not like they haven't been had. We've had a few of them. So I guess the challenge will be is that look at the positivity of our the way that we play and what puts us in those positions, and that's what we'll probably tend to focus on. It doesn't necessarily mean that we accept it all. We'll challenge where we need to challenge, but when you're coming away, I mean, if you strip it all back, you're coming away to venue. You're playing against an opposition that's been in pretty good form for the first half of the year. Had a very, very dominant first half. And we're obviously able to play out the game with some challenges and not exactly the way we'd want to finish the game, but we get the result, and that's an important 4 points.
With Harry McKay, does he need a bit of surgery on his knee?
I'm not sure. We have to explore that. It'd be too early for me to say, other than to say that we need to investigate it further, and obviously seeing a specialist is one of those steps that we'll take, and then we'll make some decisions off the back of that, probably sometime during the week.
Has it just not progressed over the last?
No, it hasn't. Yeah, just the last 2 weeks. Obviously we had a look at it a couple of weeks ago, and the advice was to wait and see how it responded. It seemed like we were hopeful that it'd turn a corner, but it hasn't. So we'll have to just do a little bit more further investigation and then make a call from there.
How's he holding up? He must be frustrated, no doubt.
With Harry.
How's he holding up?
He's holding up okay. But yeah, like whenever a player gets injured, it's not nice. They want to play. So, but yeah, it's the same with Walshy. He'll be missed, but what we've got to continue to do is we've got a job to do, and we look forward to the next 6 days, and we go into process mode. That's what we do. We've shown we've shown that the next man in can come in and play a role for us, and we've been able to do that pretty well over the last couple of weeks. So, coming out of the bye, we've got a couple of wins. So, the boys should be feeling pretty good about themselves about how we've handled ourselves post-bye.
And with Kono, do you expect him to play next week?
To guess that would be very, very dangerous. I'll just let the doctors take care of that one, and then I'll become the expert after that.
So Mitch McGovern kicked 3 goals. How important could he be in that role?
Yeah, very. He's
Mitch McGovern.
Yeah, well, look, a couple of weeks ago we needed to change our forward mix. So probably knew that there was going to be some, some parts that didn't go 100% right for 120 minutes. But Sincotta's come into that. Williams has come back, had an impact for us. McGovern's gone from back to now playing in the forward line. Hudson obviously came in as his debut 2 weeks ago. Obviously, we'll lose him. So there's been a fair bit of change in that particular part of the game. So to have that level of continuity is probably the priority for us right now. It's just to be able to get the continuity, and so when under pressure, obviously we do the same things.
Do you like the look of the smaller forward line? You've been known for tools for so long.
Yeah.
I know the smalls has copped a bit of criticism.
It's asking about the small forward line. Did you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like a couple more though. Yes, it'd be nice to have a couple down there, just only because they do draw the ball, and but we've shown also in the past that if we need to be able to take that as a strategy, then we can do it. So it probably does put a load on a couple of different people to be able to go that way. But look, in the short term, we'll sort of assess. Some players are in some great form in the VFL right now, so they're presenting in really, really good form. So we'll find out whether that's who comes in to be able to fill the void on that. But we do need that presence forward of the ball. If nothing else, we need a second ruck, and we've just got to be have a bit more thought about where that comes from.
Just in midfield broadly, what did you like at ground level without Sam in there?
Say that again, sorry.
So your midfield broadly without Sam Walsh in there, what did you like?
No, really good. I mean, look, continuing exposure for some of our guys, with even just with a guy like Jackson Binns, who's coming in to play a few games, Cooper Lord, who has largely been playing out of position, but such is the young man and his attitude, he's just happy to be out there and play any role that he gets given. And the detail he's been able to put into his game and the adjustment he's been able to make is beyond his years. So the fact that Sam's obviously come out is probably give us an opportunity to be able to get some time for him to be able to play some midfield. And the investment in our young players will continue, and that's where their opportunity lies now. So that's now theirs to make the most of it. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. First 11 goals, you must have been so proud of the guys.
Yeah, and we knew.
Sorry, that's on
anytime
loop.
we play away, start's important.
Okay. Two things that I just picked up on there. First, hang on. Well, I'll start with the end bit there. He mentioned just there at the end, we will continue to play the kids. I think that's good to hear, personally. I want to see more of them now. Secondly, the Harry Mackay situation. So it's been a couple of weeks, and I'm not pinning this on Voss, by the way. I don't think this is a Voss thing. So they're saying it's been 2 weeks. They've said knee soreness. Harry Mackay said he was a bit sore at the end of the Giants game. Like, fair enough. I just don't buy that they don't know what it is, like what the injury is. MCL sprain, something sprain, or lateral, like something. I don't know why they wouldn't say something's up with his knee and know exactly what it is. Like it's being positioned like it's a mystery knee soreness, and they're going to do some investigating to figure out what it is due to. Like, how do they not know? Or am I so mad at Carlton that it's clouding my ability to trust that he generally just has, knee soreness and they haven't been able to figure it out? I just think we've now got the imaging center. We've got the scans right there. We have access to the best technology to find out the source of any injury and help prevent it. Like, we helped find a hot spot in Walsh's foot before it became a fracture, but we can't find out what Harry Mackay's knee injury is. So I just find that a little strange. But But this comment came through while we were listening to that, and I really do think you're on the money here, Anthony. We are doing some really good stuff. There are some really good things to see, especially from the youngsters, especially from this backline, Jack Silvani, Nick Haynes. Like, there are some really good pieces, and there are some really good things, and there are some really good pieces of development that are coming from certain players and areas on the field. And we're trying to fix the bad stuff, which very clear to see. We are so skewed into the frustration that we're missing all of these little things that are actually improving. And maybe that's because we all wanted to be top 4 this year. And because we're not top 4 right now, we are unable to find positives. I think we're playing a dangerous game here. And be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for when you want to rebuild. Be very careful. Be careful when you want to trade out players and bring in draft picks who need time to get anything close to the players that you traded them for. And you've got to start losing again. And then 30 years becomes 35 years, becomes 40 years. Be careful what you wish for. Harry is still going okay, making there's nothing wrong with the podcast. If anything, I think the performance anxiety side of things and the mental aspect of the game, like creating content, exposes you to more social media. Clearly, I do wonder one day when he retires, when he reflects on, him doing the podcast, like how did it help his ability to focus in on the game and not get distracted? Because ultimately, you're playing in a. I mean, he's obviously just sitting there recording. He's not doing any of the editing. But do wonder if there is a link between creating content as a player and being more accessible to comments. And with comments as an AFL footballer at Carlton, likely you're going to get more criticism. I do wonder. We're not building if we trade Walsh for like Rowell or Butters. So, okay. Your Gold Coast. Why are you doing that deal? Your Port. Why are you doing that deal? Like, how can you assume that that's just going to happen? Just because you might want to, I'm not saying you, Josh. I'm continuing it on from what you're saying here. Like, yeah. Hello, Rat. The whole board and coaching staff need to resign en masse. Well, maybe they do. Maybe the whole coaching panel needs to, but then we're going to need to go through the whole new relationships with new coaching staff. Are you all ready for that? Is everybody ready for new coaching staff to build new relationships with players, which takes time? And there's going to be, when you build relationships with people, it takes time to get to that smooth point where you trust each other. Like you have that initial sugar hit, but then the realness of it comes. Like, are we all ready for that? You are? Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you won't be sitting here slamming tables saying, where are the standards? Why can't we win? Are you sure about that? I don't know if you guys are really sure about that. I don't know. You wouldn't gut the elite players. Mistake. All right, Jay Baggers, I'm going to take down your name in my book of notes. Trade away. Gut the list. Nah, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Anyway, I think we should just leave it there. It's 11:30 on a Sunday night. One day we'll miss this. I keep bringing myself to that. Wait until fan cams when we are 0-9. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you meant the coach. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I know. Go to bed. Yeah, I am. It's time to go to bed. It's 11:30. Maloney, what are we doing here? I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into that room. I'm going to put my head in the pillow. Probably going to watch Andrew McWalter's press conference. Yeah. Time to go to bed and talk about the same issues during the week. I just want the Carlton Football Club to be great. That's what I want. I want to be proud. I don't want to be coping with the fact that we're just not good enough. So I don't go insane getting overworked up. I just want Joel to come on here and tell me, Terry, the Blues are going to win the flag. I want Yuval to be happy. You know, that's what I want. That's all I want. That's all I want. You're going to collect your... Oh, my microphones. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to get my microphones. Okay. Okay. Guys, let's go to bed. I'm done. Have a good night. Go Blues. I will see you in the morning for the review. Pommy and I will be doing the ratings tomorrow, 5 p.m. Paul and I will be doing the BA show at 7 p.m. And then the Almost Blues Brothers will be on at 8:15-ish. So we will do that. Yeah, enjoy your night. I love you guys. I actually do. Sick puppies. And I love it. So even if you're mad, and even if you're irrational, and even if you come on and like do my head in, I still love you. So let's just move along together because that's all we can do. Go Blues. See you tomorrow.